Today I'm going to teach you guys how to drill through wood. Nathan Cox, thanks for joining us on Around the Home. If you wouldn't mind taking a moment to subscribe to the channel, whether it's Around the Home or the little ninja on the bottom right, that really does us a big favor there. Plus you hit that bell for notifications, you're going to be notified every time we make another great video. Top right of your screen, if you guys are watching us on YouTube, will be a link popped up for our website with hundreds of more videos organized really well and bunches of other resources for you. Okay, now let's get back to this, all right? So this is a basics video. This is a very basics how-to for you beginners out there. And don't you feel bad about being a beginner. Everyone's got to start somewhere, all right? So I've got a standard piece of 2x4, okay? It's just, I don't know, about 2 foot long. It's just a scrap piece I've got. So it's a good thing to practice on, all right? So practice makes perfect. That follows through on just about everything we do in life. So I've got my cordless drill here, okay? And we're gonna go through a lot of different bits and stuff. I'm going to show you the different bits for drilling and why you would use one versus another. Okay, so pretty much everyone's seen this before, okay? And if someone got you a drill for Christmas or your birthday, they probably got you one of these set of drill bits to go with it. This is the most common set of universal drill bits for your drill, all right? They do a pretty decent job at wood, plastic, metal, etc., okay? Now they're not the best at everything, but they're the one bit that can kind of cut through anything, okay? So they're the best general purpose drill bit to get. We'll of course drill with those. Then I've got a spade bit. Okay, some people, I think some people might call them paddles, but not really, I mean, all right. So that is great for cutting out big holes really quickly. Here is a Forstner bit, okay? So it's kind of similar to this one here, but it's going to cut the hole a lot cleaner. And if you ever want to cut holes into wood but not punch all the way through, perhaps, maybe you're making something and you want a nice clean flat bottom hole, this is the one of choice here. And then here is a hole saw, okay? Really good for punching all the way through an item, whether it's a door or a board or whatever, but it's going to be cleaner than this, okay? So let's go over to the board, let's cut some holes. I got the board on this bench and I have it hanging over, and we want to either have it like on a bench or a raised surface so when you punch through you don't accidentally cut something you're not supposed to, or ruin the bit. Or you can put like another block of wood underneath this so that when you punch through you're punching into just more wood. Alright, so we're going to start with this universal bit here. It's a 3/8, so it's not tiny. And we're going to lock it in to our drill. Now on the top right of your screen you'll see a video popping up for the basics how to use a drill. If you're not sure the best ways to even use this drill yet, go back and check out that video first. Okay, so we're just going to, hopefully when you're actually doing something for real, it's not just on a test strip, you've got your spot marked. You want to just get it centered in on that, and you don't have to push real hard unless the bit's really dull. The bit should pull itself through like so, okay? So you can see we've punched through. Now I'm going to back the drill up. All right, do you see how I kind of pushed the drill? I didn't lift that. That means I didn't punch through real clean. With these big grooves on these universal bits, that allows it to push, the waste out, but it can also kind of catch. So you kind of need to, when you go to drill, to make sure the hole's clean, go up and down a couple times with the drill running so that the hole is clean. It doesn't have some chunks in there that were missed and that were just stuck in these grooves, okay? Now you can see it has a little bit of a punch through, damage. And in general drilling like this, if you're doing something real basic, it's not a big deal. The bigger bit that this is, the more damage it's going to do to the wood, okay? If you're drilling something much smaller, like 1/8 of an inch or 5/16 or something like that, not so bad. But we start getting bigger, like the 3/8 and the 1/2 inch, it can start really chewing up the wood. And especially if it's like plywood and not like this thick 2x4. So that's why, as we get bigger, then we would most likely change to like one of these spades here, okay? This is a 3/4. And let me show you how that one goes. It's got a big Big old pointy tip right there in the middle for you to hit your center point. Now this one here isn't going to pull itself through so much. So if you don't put pressure, it's not going to dig. See, no pressure, and I'm doing nothing. So you gotta, these ones here, unless you have, they do have some nicer ones that actually have a screw tip that'll actually pull themselves through, but most of them don't. Most of them you have to apply pressure yourself. All right, now we're done. Now this doesn't have the grooves like those other bits. You can see it was spitting everything up as it goes. So I don't have to go up and down to clean out the hole. It's clean. But this one also leaves a big chewed up mark on the back side. Now here's a tip. These spade bits are very affordable. So that's why a lot of people use them. You can see it's very simple in design. That's why they're very affordable. So let's do this again and I'll show you how to make that hole much cleaner on the back side. So we're just going to start off the same way. Now you have to be careful. What we're going to do is we're going to watch, wait for it to poke through. We haven't poked through yet. All right, we're getting close. All right, we've poked through. I can see the hole now. So to make this clean, or much cleaner anyways, we're going to restart it from the bottom side. I'm going to stick that center right there in the hole that poked through. And there we go. And now neither side has a big chunk torn out of it. Okay, so that's a much cleaner way to do with the spades. Now let me show you. Now these bits are a little more expensive, these Forstner bits. They're one of your more expensive wood bits, but they just cut a really nice hole. All right, this one here I believe is also 3/4. And I've sped the drill up to, to the higher gear. This is another one you got to apply pressure to. It doesn't pull itself through. Okay, and sometimes you can build up with the chunks a little bit, so sometimes you have to pull it out so that it doesn't get buried in its own chunks. And let me bring this up closer to the camera. Okay, so there's the hole that the Forstner bit made, and it makes a very flat bottom hole. It's very clean looking, so if you wanted to put something in there like a dowel or a candle or something, because these come in all different sizes, then that is a very good bit if you're doing precision work. It can, of course, punch all the way through if you want it to. Again, that's good for this one to be lifted up ever so often. So if I went through a little bit slower, you can see it did chip out the backside a little bit. If I went through it a little slower, these really don't have much of a chipping problem normally. But I think this one's a little dull, and I was pushing pretty hard at the end. But it makes a very clean, very perfect hole. Sometimes these spades will wobble a little bit, and it's not a perfect circle, okay? This one here will give you a perfect circle every time. All right, and then we have the hole saw. And these come in all different sizes. They'll have the standard universal drill bit in the middle, so you can grab that center point and it holds it. And then the outer saw is what's doing the cutting. And other reasons to get the hole saws, like this one here I have on the drill is only a 1 inch. But this one here is a 2 1/8 inch, like I would use for a doorknob hole. And if I were trying to use a bit, there was a solid bit, like a Forstner or a spade, that cuts out all the wood in the middle as it goes, you would have to have a very, very powerful drill to turn that. These hole saws, because they're just cutting on the outer ring, give you the chance of using a more average drill to drill a large hole. Okay, so that's another main advantage to the hole saw. I'm going to switch out to the 2 1/8 inch one and just show you guys a much bigger hole anyways. Oops. You do got to be careful that you don't twist your wrist and throw this all sideways. Let's get an easier start than that. There we go. All right, and for cutting such a large hole, that's not bad at all. You know, and I don't have a $300 drill or anything like that. Now this is more like a $150, $60 drill. So you gotta consider that when you're getting your drill and you're like, oh, I can get one for $100, you know, but you wanna drill a bunch of stuff with it, you're gonna want something with a bit more power. But it makes a nice clean hole. It normally comes out of the backside pretty darn clean. And you know, again, that was a 2 1/8 inch sized hole that I just put through. There is one more drill bit I wanted to show you guys before I wrap this up. It looks a lot like the universal drill, only this one here, let me get it focused. This one here is a little bit more for wood only. It's not good for metal or plastic or anything like that. And then it has a countersink attached to it, okay? This one's tapered and it's designed for a number 8 screw. So when I'm using my 3-inch deck screws, this is perfect because it'll pre-drill for that, because my 3-inch deck screws are normally either a number 8 or a number 9 shaft. So this isn't too big for them. And then it'll countersink for their head so it doesn't crack the wood when I sink them. So this is nice. You're just going to drill through. Let's speed it up. You're just going to drill through. And be careful, you don't want to countersink too far. Pull out. Okay? And now we have a center pilot hole that's drilled all the way through, and then a countersinked area there for the head to snug up in so the head can go just underneath the wood without splitting or cracking it. It's nice and clean. All right, I really hope I was able to help you guys with this video today, going through just the basics of drilling through wood. I went through almost all the bits that I'm familiar with, all the bits that I ever used for drilling through wood. So I hope this helped explain why you would want a certain bit over another one, whether it's price or cleanliness of the hole cut or whatever. There's a reason to use one versus the other in just about any kind of situation. Anyways, I hope this helps. So please share this video so it can help others just like you. If you wouldn't mind, if you didn't before, please take a moment to subscribe to my channel, check out my website. I've also got a cooking channel. Kind of, it's a slow start, but it's there. And another video for you guys to watch as well. Thanks again.